Brittani Washington. I am from a small town called Port Arthur, Texas. I play for Beyoncé Knowles, like I have to say her last name, but that's what I do. Yeah, I've been playing with her for 6 years.
What's your role in Beyoncé's band?
Well, I'm a dancer. I play the keyboards and I dance. So, dancer. That's what I do.
I didn't know you danced in the show.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, cool. All right, we'll get to that. I was reading that you started performing in your parents' church, right at a very young age. How did that come about, and how did that prepare you for your life as a professional musician?
Actually, that's pretty funny. I was 6 years old and we had an old piano in our house. And when my mom left, I would dress up like Diana Ross and, you know, put the whole shebang on, like the show for myself, until someone caught me. And then they said, well, you can be Diana Ross. I'm like, well, it sounds really different. It sounds weird without music, and I don't have anybody to back me up, and let me just try to learn it myself. This is at 6 years old. So I went to the piano and I played Ain't No Mountain High Enough. I played the song and she said, oh my God, you know, God's giving you a gift and you have to use it. So I went to church that Sunday and I played it for church. I played Ain't No Mountain High Enough at church. After that, I played every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday at 6 years old. Yeah, I got my first paycheck at 7.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you learned every song and every key.
Yeah, in church. Like, it was crazy because I told my mom, I don't want to be the church musician. I don't want to be a keyboard player. I want to be in front. I want to be the star. You know, I only played because I didn't have any music. I didn't have anyone to like play for me. So I learned the song and I became the musician. So yeah, I was playing for their church for about 18 years.
Wow. Yeah. How does that help you in your life right now, Beyoncé?
Well, Beyoncé is very spontaneous. And her music is very spontaneous. Although she has a record out, we're not just going to play the record. We're going to play intros and outros and segues. So we're very creative in our thinking of how we're going to do the show. You know, she might say something like, quick, I need an intro to this. Well, in my church, there was a lot of people who, you know, wanted to sing, and I didn't necessarily know all the music. So I had to follow them. So doing that at a young age, following people and learning where to go musically, and, you know, just even people who can't sing, that was the worst, but, you know, just making them sound okay or right, just improvising. That kind of helped me a lot with this gig because we had to follow her. We did a tribute to Michael Jackson, and it was a part of Halo. And, you know, spontaneously, she wanted to go into some kind of churchy, you know, she's just like, follow me, you know, so that's what church did for me, helped me follow and not take over.
Lately, when I want to show somebody how great the Phantom sounds live, I actually show them this clip of you soloing that's on YouTube.
Oh, cool.
And it's fantastic. How would you yourself describe your style and your approach to playing?
Very soulful. I'm an old soul. I love Marvin Gaye. I love Al Green. I love chords. I love full chords. I love music. So I would describe it as more of a feeling for me, as, you know, I'm trying to express myself through music. Not necessarily so busy, but just, you know, it's very, very soulful and it's from the heart.
Very cool. Everybody always wants to know how musicians like yourself landed the gig that you're on. So how did you land the Beyoncé gig?
One night, my sister called and she said, you know, some girl is looking for you. I know the girl. Her name is Marcy Chapa, and she is our percussionist. So I called her. She told me about the audition, and she said Beyoncé is having an all-female band tryouts, and you need to go and get this DVD live at the Wembley to learn Work It Out. That's the song Beyoncé sung for Austin Powers. I left my house, picked up the DVD, set up my equipment in front of the TV, and started dancing, and like, oh my God, I have to come with it. I need to do something like with my hair, you know, because I'm like, this is Beyonce, you know, like, I can't just sit down. And I'm like driving myself crazy. I know the music, like I can pick up really easy. That's what I got from church as well too. But as far as the look and how I'm playing it, that's the part I was worried about. I went to the audition, I walked into the audition. It was so intimidating. A light that just came down, and everywhere else around the room was just pitch black, dark. The way I was dressed, they didn't take me seriously. I was 20 years old, and you know, I had this long ponytail hanging down. I looked like a Black Madonna, basically. So I went to my keyboard. They're like, okay, just play anything you want. You know, I know what I'm supposed to play. But they're just like, just play anything you want. And they start talking like amongst each other, ignoring me. So I kept it simple. I just started off with a simple bass line because they were talking. And then that's when I started soloing. And you know, one guy stood up and like, really? Like, and then I started getting into it, and I took that ponytail I had, I started swinging it around, and I started moving it, and they were like, okay, thank you, you know. I did that, and like, you know, some guy in the background's like, she's the one, and the other guy's like, shh, you're not supposed to tell them that, this is all going on in my audition. So they're like, okay, we'll call you next Thursday to see if you made it. That's when you'll find out, Thursday. So Thursday came, I had a gig, and no one called me until 2 o'clock in the morning. And that's when I found out, now I'm going to New York to audition again for Beyonce. So it was a long process.
Tell me what Roland gear you're using on the tour right now.
So now we're using the G7s and G8s. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're really, really great for maneuvering, like getting around to sounds and your sound banks, and it's really, really easy for us. That's why I want to stick with it. Like before we got the Rolands, we were using something else in rehearsal, and then I said, I told Rie, which is our other keyboard player, that, you know, I can get around better with this, so I'm going to switch to this, and she ended up switching, and it, you know, they're really pretty keyboards. I don't know if that makes a difference, but they look good on the stage, so that's all we use, top and bottom.
What parts do you normally play in the show? Are you carrying more of the rhythmic parts, or more the lead parts, or is it
when we first started off, like, we were trying to get grips of who did what, and having two keyboard players. You know, no one wants the boss hog part. So we kind of like, you know, I'll play Halo over this and listen, and, you know, she'll play Sweet Dreams, or I'll play something else fast, and then she'll play a piano. It just, whatever we wanted to do. That's my best friend. So it was kind of like, oh, whatever you don't want, just give it to me. You know, it's kind of like that, and we'll just go out and do something else. But that was the easy part, our parts that we played. Now, to me, I love doing auxiliary now because it's so much fun, and especially when you're playing 4 keyboards as opposed to 2. I have a sound here, sound there, so I'm like, you know, yes, I play, it's a mixture of piano and, you know, your synth brass sounds, or your, you know, your synth bass sounds. It's a mixture.
What's next in the future for you? What are your plans?
What's next is I just finished a tour in May, helping promote my album that's coming out this year, if I ever stop moving around. I partnered up with Modern Music School. It's a company from Germany who takes famous musicians, well, I'm not famous, but people who play with famous people, or you know, people who are just incredibly talented. They take them and they go to different schools and, you know, promote their schools and try to encourage students to practice more, rehearse, and just get into their instrument without slacking. So it was really cool. I met a lot of kids. Oh my goodness, I met a lot of kids. I did a couple of shows. I did a show at the Hard Rock Cafe, Greece. I did MTV Greece. I did Mad TV. So it was pretty cool. Yeah. And the album now is nothing like the first album. I tell everyone that it's what I really want to do. So the first album was kind of like, okay, the music is going this way, but all right, I love it, but now, like, I'm a soulful person. I love chord changes. I'm taking it back there.
What's the name of it?
The name of it is Words for Weapons, but that isn't in black and white yet.
Working title.
Yes, so it's exciting.
Any rolling gear on the new?
Of course. That's the only thing I know how to play. No, actually, that is the only. I know how to program rollings. I know how to set the sounds. I know how to create sounds. And this was all stuff that I learned how to do myself. So I feel comfortable with it. It's kind of like a safety net or something.
Would you call yourself a gear geek?
Sometimes. I'm very. My interests are very random. Like sometimes I'm like a programming fanatic, like, oh, I know how to do this, I know how to do this. I told my tech one time, watch me work. He's like, well, don't do everything. I'm not gonna have a job. But I'm a good programmer. As a matter of fact, I programmed my own keyboards for Black Girls Rock.
Cool.
The award show. So yeah, pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I didn't get a check for it though. For programming my own stuff. Yeah, so it was cool.
Any final words about Roland?
Roland has been good to me over the years. Actually, you know what? The first keyboard that I ever played, the Juno. I played the Juno. Like that's the name of the keyboard. Like that's the keyboard my dad bought me for church.
Wow.
Yeah, and I ended up playing it on my tour because I was waiting for my other keyboards to come in. And they had the Juno. I'm like, this is a special moment, you guys. Like, this is my first. I knew the sounds. I knew, where to go and everything. Yeah, it was cool. But I've been with Roland for a long time. Even before Beyoncé, I used to haul the 88 Key Phantom around.
Yep. Up
and down the stairs and going to gigs and pushing it in my little, I had a Barbie Jeep. But yeah, it's been really cool. Yeah.
Awesome.
So, love Roland.